What up, beautiful believers? Happy Saturday. I just want to say right now, if you hear some screaming or yelling, that's my grandkids. They just loud. I just wanted to talk to you all a little bit about developing real faith. That's where I've been at this season. So I got to tell y'all, in my past, I would have just sat and given up, or I would have prayed and maybe not listened, or just, I don't know. I don't know what I did without God. But as I sit here today, facing the very realities of being laid off that a lot of people are facing, and as someone who's chosen to use this opportunity to sit at the cross, I guess I have a whole different perspective on it. So I want to start by saying that these situations that people are going through are very real. And I haven't really been sharing a lot of what I've been going through step by step, because who wants to depress someone like that? But, and sometimes when I do share things, I think people take them the wrong way because they're just not where I'm at spiritually. Now, I'm not saying that I've never shed a tear through this process of sorrow. Have I not been concerned? Have I not been worried? Have I not been doubting? No, not at all. As much as I trust and believe that my Father has not left me, I still experience every single one of those emotions. Just to give you some background on my layoff story, um, some of the things I've gone through. I have had a stroke. Um, I have been taken to court by creditors that I was paying faithfully when I had a job and thought I could sustain the payments. But as soon as they stopped, they didn't understand hardship. So they took me to court and tried to freeze my unemployment payments. I had my tires blow out early on when I wasn't getting any money. I've had money come to a close, but then new money came. So God is always looking out. I can say I've honestly not had more sad nights than I've had nights trusting in God, because that's not true. I've learned that whenever I feel like I've taken my eyes off of the Lord and looked at the waves, that I need to refocus back on the Lord. So I've had more moments than I've ever had in my life of recognizing when I've taken my eyes off of Jesus and started to look at the waves and asked him for help. I have been put in a position where I could possibly have to give up my house. And that's very hard, but I guess it's not hard because at this point I accept whatever God gives me. But I've also learned that I made a lot of moves in my past out of desperation, or like I said, it's been 50 years of a one-sided relationship with the Father where he's poured into me. And I'm so thankful that he's waited these 50 years for me to finally bump my head and listen, because I'm more thankful for that than anything. I would have hated more than anything to have gotten there to heaven and he say, "Depart from me, I never knew you." And what I've realized is, how can you know a father that you never spend any time with or that you never talk to? There's no way. So you can say that the father's blessing you and all your things come from him, and that's true because he is taking care of us, but that doesn't mean that you know him. That doesn't mean that you know his heart. That doesn't mean that you're getting things based on the fullness of what he wants from you. So I want to just change the pace a little bit. So I just looked at my account. I said I wasn't going to look at my account, but I went ahead and looked at my account and it's low. And of course, I'm realizing that I have two more unemployment payments. I'm realizing that based on the way that the money comes in, I probably should have left my house at the beginning of this month, right? Um, but didn't do that. So for me, the reality looks like, hey, by the beginning of next month, I need to shut this down and move on to somewhere else until I see what God's answer is going to be. And of course, as you sit and you think about the possibility of no longer having your space, you know, and not having any income come in. And I like, again, this is just me because God is God. You know, we write our plans in pencil, but He has the eraser. So this is just me talking from my perspective and it has nothing to do with my belief in God. I believe wholeheartedly that God can flip this around. 2 weeks is no time for God. 2 weeks is no time for Him to flip this all the way around and restore every single thing. But whatever He has, I'm willing to move however He wants me to move. If whatever He asks me to give up, I'm willing to give up. And whatever He asks me to do, I'm willing to do. And of course, my flesh, it makes me emotional. But one thing I did learn in my previous season back at my old job, I read Emotional Intelligence 2.0. And I'm so glad that I read that. And that's not really what helped me, but I'm so glad that in this 100 and whatever 90 days it's been, that I've taken the time to just sit at the foot of the cross because I feel at peace no matter what. I feel at peace no matter which way God goes. And I also know that God is already worked out my situation. So I think that's what pulled me to want to just record right now because I wanted to let you all know that there's a lot going on and faith takes a lot. Like you'll have to see a lot in your life. You have to possibly give up a lot in your life. For me personally, I've thought a lot about Abraham when he was going to sacrifice Isaac. And he had to get all the way up to that hill, lay Isaac down as the offering, and raise the knife up and was about to kill him. And that's when God said, oh, wait, you don't have to kill him now. I see you have faith. And I don't know, I've been thinking a lot about that story and how, like, let's see God saying, how far are you willing to go? How far is your faith really willing to go to follow me? How far is your faith willing to go? Every morning you say you want to get up and pick up your cross and follow me. How much do you mean that? And I'm gonna be honest, in the past, it wasn't very strong. It would be like, probably, Lord, I'll pick up my cross and follow you, but don't take the paycheck. I pick up my cross and follow you, but don't take the house. I pick up my cross and follow you, but don't take the car. I pick up my house and follow you, but make sure the grandbaby's over here every weekend, you know. And I'm so different from that. Now I understand what total surrender is. And it makes me happy. I'm joyful that I understand it now. And it makes me free. It makes me feel free. When I said that I prayed that I wanted to be free and I didn't want to have the bondage of this world on me, it makes me feel free. And it makes me feel like, Lord, whatever freedom looks like in my life from you, that's what I want. Whatever you have to take away from me to be free, that's what I want. So I guess I was just here to make a video to minister to myself because I was feeling way different when I started this video. I was really emotional and upset. Like, Lord, it's really coming to this. Like, but now as I'm really thinking about it and I guess Holy Spirit is dealing with me, I'm like, Lord, why not come to this? It don't matter. Nothing matters but you. You are all that I need, and I can have that in any situation you put me in. Nobody can take that from me. And I feel so blessed for that. And I just understand that when my time comes to meet him, I want to hear, well done. I want to hear well done. A lot of people talk about, Christ coming back and things like that. And I think I used to do that too. And I didn't realize that I didn't really know him because I never sat down with him. I never really let him examine my heart. And I just assumed the things that I had were the blessings, and they weren't. None of it was. I assumed that the things I wanted were the blessing, but they weren't. My desires, I thought those were the blessing because I would get them. They weren't. I mean, not saying they're not a blessing, but he was never first. And I've never sat down like I have this time. I've never really given up everything like I have this time. I mean, there's a story in the Bible about the rich man who he was so rich and he asked God, Jesus, what do I need to do to follow you? And he said, sell everything you have, give it to the poor, and then come follow me. And the guy couldn't do it because he couldn't give up the possessions. Well, I'm not that man. I'm not that woman. I will give everything away and follow God right now. I'll give everything away. And that's how I'm going to sunset my life. Like, that's how my life is going to sunset. For the rest of my life, that's how I'm going to live. So without making this extremely long, I want to thank my daughter for this little nice, nifty little tripod thing she gave me. It made it really easy, more easy to make this video. And it's not going to be any hoopla or hollering or anything like that. One of my favorite little YouTubers died, Pilgrim. He was an old man. Old man. And I was always like, I wish he was my grandfather because he was wise, but he was a Christian. And he would always say Maranatha at the end of his videos, which means come Jesus come. He always let you know that he was ready. He would be like, Jesus, I hope you come today. And in his case, he could really say that. But a lot of us, we say that and we don't realize that we're not really ready. And I didn't either. So I just pray that you all find Christ, find the relationship for real, find that total surrender where you would give it all up for him. If he took every single thing, if you're down to your last 2 unemployment payments and you're about to move out of your house that you bought, that you thought you were going to be at, that you thought you bought to leave to your grandkids, the house that I actually thought I was going to fix up and give away to someone. And I didn't know what that meant at the time. Maybe that's what this means. I don't know. But, just think about it. If you're not willing to give up everything for him, put him first, and don't care what he takes, I don't think you're there. But I pray that you get there. I love you. He loves you. He will sustain you through. I mean, in this world too, I know I don't want to go too long, but in this world too, I think about it like, people making making decisions to buy things right now. And if you look at the world and the layoffs and everything that's so uncertain with these jobs and stuff like that, for some people, I'm not going to say that. Like, the thing about it is you can't get caught up in the layoff stuff because, yes, a lot of people are getting laid off. But ironically enough, I found that a lot of people are being hired. I've been doing a lot of looking and researching. And, of course, in this job search, you find a lot of stuff. So I found where people are getting offered 2 and 3 of the jobs I've applied for, you know what I'm saying, at one time and having to choose. So I understand that it's just not the path God has me on. But in this unstable environment, and you're going and making these making purchases, homes and things like that, without having that stable relationship with the Lord, or understanding that no matter jobs don't sustain you, and understanding that what if the world takes that from you, are you still going to trust God? I would just encourage everybody to kind of think that way. And I feel like this world is just showing us how to think that way, but are we going to take the opportunity to listen? And that's the biggest takeaway I would leave with this video is we don't listen. We don't listen to God. And how could you hear, well done, my good and faithful servant, from a father that you don't sit down and ever listen to? But anyway, God loves you. He's waiting to hear from you. He wants to show you the way. He does. And love and peace. Love and peace.